ball wasn't there 5 minutes ago. I'm sure of it. I stand at the entrance of the hallway, a cardboard box slipping from my hands and hitting the floor with a dull thud. The sound echoes, but I barely notice. My eyes are locked on the object in front of me, a child's red ball, sitting perfectly centered in a beam of golden afternoon light. Small, faded, cracked rubber, and impossible. Because I've walked this hallway at least 15 times today, and it was empty. My name is Marcos, 43, recently divorced, and as of yesterday, the proud renter of this narrow apartment with its creaking floors and walls that smell faintly of cigarettes and regret. My fresh start, my escape. But now I'm staring at this ball, and something cold is crawling up my spine. The hallway stretches before me like a tunnel, worn wooden floors, peeling wallpaper, and shadows that pool thick and dark in the corners. The afternoon light from the window at the far end should make it feel warm. I've walked this hallway at least 15 times today, carrying boxes and furniture from the moving truck. The hallway was empty every single time. I'm sure of it. But here's the ball, sitting there like it's been waiting for me. I glance back toward the living room, then toward the closed doors on either side of the hallway, the bathroom, the guest room, and at the very end, the master bedroom. All closed. All exactly as I left them. "Hello?" I call out, and my voice sounds smaller than I expect in the narrow space. No answer. Of course there's no answer. I live alone now. That's the whole point of this place. I take a step forward, and the floorboards creak under my weight. The sound is loud in the silence, but then I stop moving, and the creaking continues for just a fraction of a second longer. I freeze, listening, but there's nothing. Just the hum of the refrigerator in the kitchen, and the distant sound of traffic outside. I shake my head and laugh at myself. A short, nervous sound that doesn't quite reach my chest. "Get a grip, man," I mutter. I walk toward the ball. My footsteps echo in the hallway, and I'm suddenly aware of how alone I am here. No wife calling from the other room, no television noise, no life, just me in this strange, heavy silence. I reach the ball and crouch down to pick it up. The rubber is rough under my fingers, and there's something written on it in faded marker. A name maybe, but too worn to read. I turn it over in my hands, examining it. It's old. Really old. The kind of toy that's been forgotten in an attic for decades, then suddenly reappears. But the apartment was empty when I moved in yesterday. The landlord showed me around personally, and he made a point of saying the previous tenant had cleared everything out. "Left it spotless," he'd said, grinning like that was a selling point. So where did this ball come from? I stand up, still holding it, and look down the hallway toward the master bedroom. The door is closed, just as it has been since I arrived. I haven't opened it yet. I've been putting it off, actually. There's something about that room that I don't like, though I can't explain why. Maybe it's the way the door doesn't quite sit flush with the frame, or the way the paint around the doorknob is worn smooth, as if 1,000 hands have turned it over the years. I toss the ball gently into the air and catch it, then toss it again. It's a nervous habit, something to do with my hands while I think. The light from the window flickers. Just once. Just for a second. I stop tossing the ball and glance back toward the window. The sun is still shining outside, bright and warm. But the light in the hallway seems dimmer now, as if something is filtering it, absorbing it. The shadows in the corners are darker. I turn back toward the master bedroom, and my heart starts beating a little faster. I don't know why. It's just a door, just a room, But the ball in my hand suddenly feels heavier. "Okay," I say aloud, mostly to fill the silence. "Let's just see what's in there. Then I can unpack and forget about all this weirdness." I start walking toward the door, and the floorboards creak. The floorboards creak with every step. The sound is rhythmic, predictable, but underneath it, I swear I hear something else. Something softer, like fabric brushing against wood, or breath being held. I reach the door and place my hand on the doorknob. The metal is cold, much colder than it should be in this warm apartment. Then the ball slips from my other hand. I don't drop it. It slips, like someone pulled it from my fingers, It hits the floor with a dull thud, then starts rolling back down the hallway. Not fast, not bouncing, just rolling, slow and deliberate. I watch it move, mesmerized, as it travels all the way back to the spot where I found it, that perfect center point in the beam of light. And then it stops, exactly where it was before. My mouth goes dry. My hand is still on the doorknob, but I don't turn it. I can't. I'm staring at that ball, trying to rationalize what just happened, trying to find a logical explanation. The floor is uneven. Old apartments settle. Gravity pulled it that way. But I know that's not true. The light flickers again, and this time, it doesn't come back on. The hallway plunges into shadow. Suddenly, the golden afternoon warmth is gone. The air feels cold now, and I can see my breath misting in front of my face. I take my hand off the doorknob and step back, but my eyes are locked on that ball sitting in the darkness. Then I hear it. A child's laughter. Faint, distant, muffled, like it's coming from behind the closed door at my back. But it's not joyful laughter. It's the kind of laughter that comes after a secret. I spin around, facing the master bedroom door, and my hand instinctively reaches for the doorknob again. "Who's there?" I demand, and my voice is stronger now, fueled by adrenaline. The laughter stops. Silence. But in that silence, I hear something worse. The slow, deliberate sound of footsteps inside the room. Small footsteps. A child's footsteps. They move from one side of the room to the other, then stop right in front of the door. Right where I'm standing. I can feel it. The presence on the other side. I can feel eyes watching me through the wood, studying me. My hand trembles on the doorknob. Then, very slowly, the doorknob starts to turn under my palm. Not by me, by something on the other side. I let go and stumble backward, my heart hammering in my chest, and I watch as the door creaks open, inch by inch, revealing nothing but darkness beyond. And from that darkness, the ball rolls out. Slowly, deliberately. It rolls past my feet, down the hallway, and stops once again in the center, waiting, as if inviting me to play. The child's laughter echoes again, but this time it's not behind me. It's all around me. I stand frozen for what feels like an eternity. Then something shifts inside me. Fear turns to anger, and anger turns to determination. I'm tired of running. Tired of closed doors and unanswered questions. Tired of being afraid in my own home. "Enough," I whisper, and I step forward. I pick up the ball one more time, and this time, I don't let it go. I grip it tight and walk straight toward that open door, toward that darkness that seems to breathe and pulse. "I know you're in there," I say, my voice steady now. "And I'm not leaving. This is my home now." I step through the doorway. The master bedroom is colder than it should be, and the air tastes stale, like it hasn't been disturbed in years. But as my eyes adjust to the darkness, I see it. A small shape huddled in the corner by the window. A child, but not a real child. A shadow of one. A memory. The figure is translucent, flickering like an old film projection, and I can see the outline of a boy, maybe 7 or 8 years old, wearing clothes from another era. Shorts, a striped shirt, scuffed shoes. He's looking at me with wide, sad eyes. Then he points to the wall beside him. I move closer, and that's when I see it, scratched into the wallpaper in desperate, childish handwriting. "Help me. I'm stuck. 1987. My breath catches. 1987, nearly 40 years ago. And below the message, there's more writing, smaller, harder to read. They locked me in. I waited. Nobody came. The boy's shadow flickers again, and I understand now. This isn't a haunting. It's an echo. A boy who died alone, trapped, forgotten. And somehow, this ball, his ball, has been waiting all this time for someone to find it, to find him, to finally acknowledge what happened. "I see you," I whisper, and tears burn my eyes. "I see you now." The boy's shadow smiles. A small, grateful smile. And then he reaches out his hand toward the ball I'm holding. I kneel down and place the ball on the floor, then gently roll it toward him. It passes through his translucent form. But as it does, something changes. The temperature in the room rises, the oppressive weight in the air lifts, and the boy's shadow begins to fade, not in fear, but in peace. The laughter comes one last time, but now it's different. It's real laughter, joyful, free, and then he's gone. The room is just a room again, empty, silent, but not heavy anymore. I stand there in the growing darkness, the ball now resting against the far wall, and I make a decision. Tomorrow I'll call the landlord. I'll ask about the history of this apartment, about what happened in 1987, about a boy who might have lived here, and if there's a family out there still wondering, still grieving, I'll make sure they know. But tonight, I pick up the ball one last time, walk to the living room, and place it gently on the windowsill where the morning light will touch it. A memorial, an acknowledgement, a promise that he won't be forgotten again. I look back at the hallway, and for the first time since I moved in, it doesn't feel threatening. It feels quiet. It feels like home.